So it's a rare functionality, but it is available to support workers' rotation, reorg, and business that move worker between locations. You can move workers into each other's position. The task name is swap position task, and managers can use request swap task to initiate the process. Do you want me to go through it again? Because we did go through it earlier, right? So while doing a position swap, the swap position BP initiates a change job business process, which in turn initiates a change organization assignment BP. So if you're doing for mass position swap ahead of time, you can use the create swap position list, select workers, and then add them to the list for future position swaps. Swap worker must have matching worker types. Example, a contingent worker cannot be swapped into an employee position. So if you have a list of people that you're going to swap and you're planning to do a mass activity, you can do that, and you can do multiple people at the same time as well. But the position cannot be swapped into a different type of position. So if it's a contractual worker, it can be swapped with a contractual worker. But if it's an employee, then it has to be swappable with an employee. Another thing is switch primary job. So the switch primary job BP allows you to change the primary job designations for worker with multiple jobs. It is important to indicate a primary job to identify the main manager and report accurately. This BP gives you the flexibility to change workers' primary job due to a job change, a new job, a new additional job, or the end of current primary job. All right, let me open up the tenant so we can have a look at it as well. Job change and switch primary job. Okay, I don't see that option here. Let me see if the BP is configured. So who can initiate it? HR partner, HR admin can initiate it. All right, let's check one more thing. Because we cannot see it in the menu, let's see if we can configure it to see it in the menu. So business process policy, let's go to edit. We have to go through the toss swap, switch job. Oh, come on, I need to find one person who has more than one job. See, we have selected reason, primary job change, see, change in responsibilities, effective date is today. So primary job is sales assistant, and then the other jobs are. So she has an additional job of sales assistant, administrative assistant. So let's say we switch her to P. So it went to Logan McNeil. So her primary job was sales assistant. Now we have switched her primary job to administrative assistant. This is in case of when a person has more than one jobs, like in a matrix organization. So I cannot complete this process and understand it in GMS. So I'm going to the business process security, trying to see if the reassign task is available. So ad hoc, cancel, resend, request reassignment or reassign task. See HR admin. So let's see now if we can reassign the task, if that helps. Great. So approval by manager for, and let's give it to Logan McNeil. Okay, so now in the inbox, I can see Anna Bergen's primary switch job in progress. If I click on view details, I will get the entire details of the changes. Say I approve. So now the process has completed. And if I look at Anna Bergen's profile, she's now primarily an administrative assistant. And here says that she has more than one job. Termination. It is a configurable event that uses a guided editor and a template-driven UI. It is complete in the system immediately following midnight in workers' time zone. So whatever date we select for termination, it will come into effect at the midnight of that date. So you can indicate if that worker is not eligible for rehire. You could also select in the process if that termination was regrettable and use that information for turnover analysis. You can also add exit interview questionnaires, which can be configured within the BP to capture information such as exit interviews. Notice periods can be configured and used in termination process, and documents can be attached during the termination process. So initiating termination. So use terminate employee task or worker related actions, job change, terminate employee. Enable the submit resignation BP to allow the employee to initiate their own termination and use the severance function in combination with the termination BP. So for example, if I would like to terminate someone in a team, say I want to terminate this person, Anton Nieberg, I can go to job change. And okay, so he's a contractual employee, so he has a fixed term contract. So for example, let's go to say we want to terminate this person. Go to actions, job change, and we have the option to terminate an employee from right here. So the termination BP will then start, take off, it lasts for a primary reason, say voluntary, family reasons, second reason, voluntary, say dissatisfied with pay, there's any local termination reason, say condition precedent. If I want to set up a notice period, say, uh, say till 30th of this month, or say I start from the first 2 months to end of month, recommended termination date is 10/31. Then termination date will be populated, last day of work, and pay through. It's a resignation date, it's a first. Now, regrettable is to select, once you select it, you can use this value in your turnover analysis that you're doing, say, towards the end of quarter, or end of 6 months, or end of 1 year. Regrettable. Is this worker eligible for rehire? So as we are terminating this person on voluntary basis, then yeah. Now, what would we do about the position? Do you want to close this position, or is this position available for overlap? Like overlap means that if you are having a transition, say an employee is going out in 2 months and you have to hire an employee to replace this person, but then they are going to have an overlap for say a month for handover and takeover of all the task and functional activities and administrative activities. If you need that, then you can select is this position available for overlap. And closed position is the primary position that is under the superorg. Do you want to close this after this worker has left, or do you want to keep it open for rehire or any other purposes? So let's press submit. Okay, so it's gone to employee itself for review documents and complete questionnaire. Let's look at the process for BP termination. So here we can see all the steps in the business process for termination. Action, employee review termination by HR partner. Terminations is involuntary, then approval by HR executive. It's involuntary, then manager's manager. Then the next condition is country with works council. Termination is involuntary, approval works council. And then worker has a user security based group to do review security group, assignments by security administrator. Then it has some conditions for voluntary and involuntary and what is this step and who can do this. So as we can see that towards the end, terminate user account is on Workday is towards the end. And before that, all the exit interviews, change benefit election, manage any leaves that needs to be paid out, separation certificate, offboarding procedures, and so on. Okay. We tried to do it in one way that, we went to the employee, took an action and terminate employee from there, or you can run it as a task, terminate employee, ask you for employee name, and then you can terminate that employee by yourself as well. Okay. Enable the submit resignation BP. So let's try to do that. Okay, so it is enabled in the tenant and employee itself can initiate it. So say, for example, if I want to log in as see, for example, if I want to submit resignation myself, I can go to job change and then I can select resign. So notification date, say 8/1. Voluntary, say moved. So now it's going to receive Morgan for approval. Once it's approved, then this person has submitted his own resignation through the tenant as well. All right, use a severance function in combination with the termination BP. Severance worksheet BP contains review. Okay, let's come around to severance. So termination reason. So reasons for both terminated employee and contingent worker contract BP are set in maintained termination categories. Reason can be set as involuntary, voluntary, others, retirement, manager reason. The reasons configured in maintained termination categories are used across your organization. There may be a need to have a specific reason, country, or region. So use maintain local termination reason. So let's look at maintain termination categories first. So here we can create groups of, say, voluntary, involuntary, and then in involuntary, we have all the reasons like workforce reduction, poor job performance, not authorized to work, death, harassment, unsatisfactory probation period, and so on. And then you have options ahead of it, like involuntary retirement, inactive visit, a manager reason, and how many times has it been used. Then the second set you have is voluntary, and then you have all the reasons, and you can have more than two sets here as well. If you want to create more termination categories, you can, in addition to voluntary and involuntary, and all the sections under the involuntary and voluntary, you can add more reasons. And within the reason, like as you can see, that in involuntary, only one reason, like workforce reduction, has a reason for eligible for rehire. Else, all of them does not have the eligible for rehire. They maintain local termination reason. So if you want to set up local termination reasons for, say, a specific country, you can set up your own reasons as well. So severance worksheet business process contains review, sendback, and approval steps. Severance worksheet process should be completed before initiating the terminated employee BP. It can be initiated by these groups like the comp administrator, comp partner, compensation partner by location, compensation system, HR admin, HR partner, HR location implementers, management chain, and manager. So once it's initiated, the second step is review severance worksheet by HR partner, then approval by compensation partner, approval by controller, and actions. And it has these restrictions that initiated approver or the subject matter cannot be the actionable person. So anyone who's set up in the alternate approver group, if any of these people are part of HR partner, it will be then skipped by that particular person and it will go to the alternate approvers. Severance worksheet, say, for example, should be here in severance committee membership. Organization, job change, manage work. Okay, edit servants. All right, see. Julie. For employee based in the United States, so it has an estimated time off payout section configured. So severance metrics, notice pay, severance payout, one-time payment, estimated time off. So these are all the part of the packages. Okay, so let's go back to UD Bowls. Say actions, compensation, so request one-time payment. Say on 1st of August. Say I want the employee to be able to see on the end of the month. Reason, one-time payment, incentive. So I select the severance package. Scheduled payment date is say 8/31. Amount say is 23456. And if I want to add, send it to payroll or costing company work tags. If I want to add any supporting information, I can add that in. Here I have to give a reason. Award bonus, lump sum, merit performance, and the process has been completed. Compensation, so it won't show up before the end of the month. Then, so on her profile, it won't show up before the end of the month. But if I look at worker history, you can see that it is in progress. So let's approve it. But it did say that it is pending approval with Logan McNeil. It is in progress. Severance worksheets assigned to Logan McNeil. Initiated on 8/18. Due date is 8/25. It should be in Logan's inbox. Well, for some odd reason, it's not showing up here, but it is assigned to Logan McNeil. So once she approves, then the severance package will be sent to payroll for further payout at the end of the month. And it'll be visible to the employee on the specified date that we said that, it should be visible to employee on 8/31/2021. Automatic workday account termination. So worker related actions, security profiles, edit workday account, enter an account expiration date and time to turn on the account disable checkbox. The termination BP can include automatic disabling of workday account by including the terminate user account step in BP. Use termination date or last day worked. So let's look at this worker related action security profile and edit workday account first. Say Alex. Action, security profile, edit workday account. account expiration date. Either enter an account expiration date or time to turn on the account disable checkbox. Time to turn on. So account disable is right here. But I would like to see expiration date time or turn on. Okay. So for example, if we have terminated this worker, say effective today, so I can disable the account from here and press submit, and then his Workday account for Alex Grossman would be disabled. Or say if I want to have it disabled at the end of the month, say schedule it for say 30th September at 12 p.m. 11:59:59. So account expiration, so his account will automatically be disabled on this date and this time. Say press submit. Let's have a look at BP termination as well. And here to like terminate user account. So if I click on configure termination, so I can either use termination date or I can use last day worked. And then I can set up the time as part of the business process. Say at 11:45, use last date worked. And it'll automatically disable the account when the worker's last date is entered. Or I can use a termination date, whatever the HR policy may be.